Well, welcome to Harlow Town FC TV, and to say that we are extremely lucky tonight to be joined, of course, by our brand new chairman, Mr. Chris Ottaway. So welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Dave.
So Chris, I suppose first things first, I suppose, before we get into a bit of history of yourself and stuff, is how did it all come about? Because I know it was a bit of a shock for me and probably a shock for quite a lot of other people.
Yeah, we've been talking for some time, on and off. Obviously I had commitments with Epping. So the situation at Epping deteriorated, as it's well documented. We don't need to go down that road. And the opportunity was still here, and I just couldn't wait to get here, to be honest with you.
Well, it's one of those things, I suppose, with, you know, I suppose from me side of it, I was quite surprised because Epping was going really well and I was expecting to see you playing us in a couple of years' time, I'll be honest. And then all of a sudden, you know, there was, you know, to see you sort of in charge, which is fantastic. I mean, how did that sort of conversation come about with you and Tom? Because
we used to, Lou and myself used to come over here before Epping Football Club. I was involved with, and we started supporting the team and sponsoring. I remember Tommy from my days at Leighton Orient, and it was really good to chat to him. Bill Songhurst, you know, a few of the other faces were up here. We settled in it felt like home, and it's a bit of an old cliche, really. I mean, I'm a new kid on the block, really, but it felt like home. We always made welcome. We used to go to away games with the crowd, and it was fun. You know, I mean, Kings in Away was just one of the best weekends I think I've ever had. You know, the football was fantastic. Lowestoft away, Folkestone was another story. So we were. It felt part of our Saturday. It started to be quite a regular thing. The first score you look for was a Harlow score. I got involved at Epping before there was any talk of me sort of coming here, and that went really well. I had a really good season there. It's a different level. It's a different club. We know that. It's not at the same magnitude as Harlow. Unfortunately, it didn't work out to plan. It wasn't through any, I suppose, through lack of trying. You know, me and Bill, the manager. You know, we basically just didn't get the support. You know, it was. Tonight's about Harlow Town Football Club, so I mean that's the past as far as I'm concerned. It's a shame it ended the way it was. I think you'll see Billy Cove make a name for himself as a manager, and I hope he does. I think he's going to do really well.
He's down at Bishop Stortford Swiss now, hasn't he?
Sorry?
Bishop Stortford Swiss is where
he's gone to Bishop Stortford's. It's not a word we like to use around here, of course. But, no, I think he'll do well. He's on a learning curve. It's a shame it never worked out, but there we are. That's all. It was a great experience for both of us. Yeah. I certainly got myself match fit for the experience, and I know Bill has. Yeah. So I'll obviously be keeping an eye on how he progresses, and I think he'll do well.
So I suppose, what's your ambitions for the club going forward?
Just look at if you look at Epping and the dreams I had there, we had nothing. We never had any money in the bank. We started on a blank sheet of paper, and then all of a sudden I'm here. It's not even another level. You know, it's a sleeping giant. This club. You know, the size of the town, the facilities. We must be the envy of the Isthmian League completely. It's a matter now of working with the team. You know, this ain't the Chris Ottaway show. It's Harlow Town Football Club. We've got lots of resources, lots of knowledge. I'm just flattered and honoured to be part of it, and I'll do all I can to help the club move forward. I've had a great meeting tonight with the manager and assistant manager, Mark and Dave, and I've really been knocked over by their enthusiasm and the positivity that's floating around the place. So I'm just so glad to be part of it. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. We've got some questions here that have come in, so we'll sort of filter some of these questions out as we go along. But Pie Man's asked, and this is going back a little bit to Epping and such, but he says, ask him if he still wants the book.
I'll have the book, yeah.
That contains the chapter on the history of Epping Town FC that I had for
him. Thank you, Pie Man, yeah. Put it down to
that. Ross Arnold has said, how will being chairman of Harlow differ from being chairman of a smaller side like Epping?
Massively different. We had a few fans at Epping. In all honesty, they were probably people that used to just come up for something to do on a Saturday. There's a lot of fans here that it's their life. This is not just a Saturday afternoon kickabout. This is real. There's a lot of people in Harlow that are regulars here that are probably already now getting fired up for South Park if it goes ahead on Saturday. And I'm aware of that. I buy into that. I mean, I'm an old Ashford Town boy from when I was a kid. It means a lot to a lot of people. The difference being, of course, is although we're bigger, we've got resources, we've got facilities, we've got an enthusiastic team. So I'm looking forward to having probably the opposite that I've had for the last 2 years. I've actually got people to help and to do things. All I want to do is just sit back at the moment and take stock, just to see where we're at. I'm well supported by my partner Lou, and she's bought into this as well. She just loves coming up here. So it's just a matter of just hurrying slowly, I think, is a term I use a lot. But it's a lot different than that. But at the end of the day, if you take I'm not picking the team, okay? That's the football side of it. We've got competent professionals doing that. It's about management and coordination, and I've been doing that for 40 years. So I'm not actually sort of phased by that side of it. Obviously, it's not an area which I don't know the area that well. Harlow, I've got a lot of speed reading to do on the locality, but I don't see a problem.
Well, Ross Arnold sent another one. He says, does a change in chairman impact the budget in any way?
Of course it does. A change in anyone at this level is going to have an impact. We don't know what I've been in post 3 days, and I was keen to do this interview as soon as possible so people know who I am. I'm not going to flower things up or make bold statements. I'm going to sit down this season. I've got a meeting on Wednesday here to go through some figures and to have a look at the club a bit closer, do some scrutiny. We'll use this season to sort of get up to speed, and then sit down in the summer with Mark and Tommy and see where we go and what we need for promotion. I mean, this season's not over yet. Everyone's talking about sort of getting to the end of the season. We're still in with a great shout of going up this year. 11 points adrift, admittedly, from a playoff spot. There's a lot of clubs above us that are going to play each other. If we can put a run together, there's always one team in the league that puts a run together. Why not it be us?
No, absolutely. Well, here's a little bit of a fun question for you. I think this is from a West Ham fan, so you might know where this is going. You might know where this is going. Yeah. Does he feel being Millwall will be held against him?
Probably. No, not really. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all here for the love of Harlow. So that's the common denominator. So I don't see a problem there.
There's one here from Keith Preston. Already, so this is praising you as well. It says on it, already speaking as well as engaging on Twitter. I hope he can enjoy his enjoy his time here with no anti-football council to worry about. One question though is saying about bringing back an extra ladies team.
It'll be on the agenda. Everything's on the agenda at the moment, and I don't want people to think that I'm trying to flower over things, but at this moment in time, I'm keen to see the whole operation of the club. If you want, you're welcome to have me back in 3 months, 2 months, and ask me how things are moving along, and I'll happily report back to everybody.
And then, an old friend of yours and sort of a colleague on Harlow Harlow FC TV, Jake, he said, having known you personally and interviewing you before, what ideas will you be bringing into the club, and what's your 5-year plan of where you want the club to be, both on and off the pitch?
I think there's 3 plans really. There's a 6-month plan, a 1-year plan, and a 5-year plan. At the moment, I've probably got a 5-year aspirational plan, but I need to sit down and look at things. It would be totally inappropriate for me to come out banging my chest saying we're going to do this, we're going to be there, and everything. All I know is that we knocked Leicester out of the cup many years ago. And that was no fluke. Why can't we do it again? We're big enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob O'Connor's, will you be looking to take our great club forward and bring back our great supporters to decent football?
I hope so. I mean, we went to that match at Kings Lynn. There was 850 people there that afternoon, and the place was rocking. There's obviously, whatever people were saying, I know the club have tried, but yeah, I believe but then I believe that we could get a lot more people at other clubs as well. There is an issue with attendances, I know that, but I'll be working. It'd be lovely to. I mean, what do you think we had 2,000 here against Hall Church? Was it? It must have been about 2,000. This place was electric. I mean, why wouldn't you come back? That's what we've got to work on, trying to get people back.
So what do you say to the fans? And I mean, some of the fans I've seen, and I know you're on the same forum as you know, the chairman's actually on the forum, which is fantastic. I mean, you've seen some of the comments on there as well. I mean, how do you maybe why the fans are staying away or have been staying away? I mean, what do you say to the fans to get them to come back?
I don't know. All I'll say is that my approach, I'm going to try and communicate with everybody and participate. All I'd say to anyone, I'm on the Facebook pages, as you well know. Whether that's a good move or not, I don't know. I've decided to make a policy that I'm only going to comment if it's positive. And I know people will be critical, you can't please everyone. So I'll leave that to the guys on that site. I'm happily stay on it. If there's criticism, then I'll read it and learn from it, but I won't comment. I'm not going to read. I'm not a Saturday night reactor. You know, I'll just take it on the chin and think, well, it might have a point there. I want to get round and meet people. And I've made loads of friends here, not just up at this area as well, you know. I want to try and link up with everybody. I'd like to have a chairman's night. I know the manager wants a manager's night. I'm all for that. Let's have a chat. You know, I mean, this is a family. I mean, I sort of look at a football club. It's almost like a chair with 3 legs. You've got the football inside, you've got the admin side, and you've got the fans. Now, if one of those legs breaks, the chair falls over. And the fans are so important, you know, the feel-good factor. Just come up and let's have a good afternoon. So, you know, I'll try my best. If anyone's got anything they want to pull me up, want to have a word, stop me and have a chat. I'll be walking around. I'm not just going to sit in the corner. I'll try and be visible. I won't make promises I can't keep, and I won't tell lies. That's all I can do.
And I've noticed that myself, Chris. I mean, being back here, you know, two or three weeks now, and seeing the almost like, I suppose what it used to be like, a bit like the real family atmosphere. Everybody's sort of talking to each other. Everybody's very positive. Even, you know, as you said, the manager, you've noticed going out and talking to the fans, yourself as well through Twitter and social media, and what will happen, of course, on game days, home game days, away game days as well. It just seems to be that the club itself is moving in the right direction. Yeah,
it feels good. I mean, I've got a lovely feel-good factor at the minute. Saturday was fantastic when we came up here. Saturday, the result wasn't so clever, admittedly, but the feel-good factor was there. The family feeling was back. And that's nice. And as I say, you know, I'll be criticised for this. I mean, you know, I'll hold my hand up. The first game I came to here was probably 4 years ago. So I'm the new kid on the block, but I do feel like I've come home. I really do. This feels right to me. Yeah. And I'll do all I can to make it work.
And the playing style as well. I mean, you know, Mark's playing style as well, completely different to Danny's. It seems to be. And of course, you know, some people, I've seen comments on there saying, "Oh, look, you know, it's cranky neck job," and that, but I don't see that. I see the ball on the floor, playing football. But I think, of course, if a team is used to playing a certain way of football, then all of a sudden a new manager comes in and asks them to play a completely different set of football. It's going to take time for that team to
It's a work in progress. We've got 2 quality guys in Mark and Dave. There's no doubt about that. Their pedigree, their CV says it all. They've experienced success. It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, you don't come into a club that's possibly struggling on the pitch and turn it around overnight. If that's the case, there's a problem. Let's stick with them and get behind them, because I believe that I still haven't written off this season. Having spoken to Mark tonight, you know, and he's not the sort of guy that I suppose will hoodwink you. I mean, he spoke a lot of sense to me in there tonight. A good 20 minutes. And I haven't written this year off yet. I still think there's hope, a lot of hope.
It seems to me, you know, I was down there, I was, you know, sort of listening to the conversation, and you know, with the 4 of us in there. But it did sound he sounds to me to be a very, very inspirational man.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he certainly talks. You know what he's talking about. You know, pre-season next year, and etc.
Let's talk about pre-season, and I've cleared this with him because obviously I don't want to say things that aren't going to happen. Already, pre-season this year, we've got Fulham coming over, West Ham coming over, Chelsea coming over. There's a very, very strong possibility we're going to get Grimsby Town coming over, and also Leyton Orient possibilities. So that's 5 really good names in the footballing world. plus I think we got a few quite interesting lower friendlies. Haybridge Swifts is one of them. There's a couple of other clubs I think we're talking to. But if we can have a few nights or Saturdays over here with the likes of Fulham, West Ham, Grimsby could be a good game. I mean, that could be, because he's related to their manager, Mark, Ian Ottaway. And I've got a sneaking suspicion he might bring a bit of a strong team over here. And that would be a very interesting, that's the sort of game I wouldn't mind having a week or two before the season starts. Yeah. Because that could really put us, see where we are, see what league we're in, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? I suppose one question to finish with, which is, I suppose...
And it was going so well.
A funny question for you.
Go on.
You know, I mean, I don't know if you saw the comments on Facebook, and he'll kill me for asking you this question, I know. But I did find it quite funny when you were sitting down on Saturday evening at the game against Uxbridge. You were sitting there with your partner, you were sitting there with the boss, and you were sitting there with a few others all round the table. Yeah. And then one man put on social media, who's Chris Ottaway?
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see it? And he was sitting opposite the table from you. I mean, I know he's knocking on a bit, but that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw, and again, and that's my social media policy. I felt like he something was said back about it.
He said he was going to apologise.
No, what it was someone else put a funny on, and they said, was he a singer with Wild Willie Barrett? Now, I was going to correct him. In fact, that was John Ottaway, and the single was really free, and I've got it in my garage. But I thought, no, that's what I'm not going to do. I'm just going to engage on football matters. I'm going to let all that side of it. But it was quite fun. I mean, I don't think he meant any harm by it.
No, of course he didn't. No,
his sausage rolls are very nice. Yeah, so let's not knock him too much.
Well, listen, Chris, I know you're a busy man, and we massively thank you for that. Maybe we'll catch up with you in a couple of months' time and have a chat with you, see how things are going and the build up and everything else. And of course, if you've got anything that you want to put out yourself before that, then give us a shout and we can put it on Harlow FC TV. But a massive thank you for it, and we wish you all the very, very best in your tenure as chairman. Let's hope that up the Hawks and we do get that promotion this year, and we're taking on that star-studded people in the Premier League in East Midlands next year.
That'll be great. Thanks, David.
No worries.
Thanks very much. Chris.